something about the design of the training group.
Perfect.
So the training group here in OrgLab 2014 is going to have some events which are with the rest of the members and some events which are only for themselves. And the main reason for that is for them to experience and learn from the transition of the roles.
As a member and then a training group.
As a consultant.
Yes, consultant, of course, yes.
And to have opportunities to reflect on that as well. So that's why they have they're members of the large group, like the rest of the membership. Then they have their own small system.
This is interesting, yeah.
But they're still part of the rest of the membership in the sense that all the membership is doing the same thing at that time. They are all in small systems with the task of the here and now.
So your colleague in the training group is member of the small system staff?
Exactly, and he joins the staff for their reflection to make sense of the system as a whole.
So is it a double role, member of training group as well as small system or staff?
It's a different kind of subsystem. So he is a member of the training group system, and
which you direct.
Which I'm directing, and he's a member of the. So it's a different cut. It's a different kind of cut. Very common in these days in organizations, I would say.
Yes.
So
being
in that sense,
member of different groups
and having this different matrix management. So he has a manager in the small system, let's say, and he has a manager in me in the training group, and then he has you as the equivalent of the chief executive. I would say it would be the organizational analysis comparison.
And you have your staff meetings with your colleagues, right? Training group staff, training group consultants.
Yes. So you will normally have some meetings only with your training group staff, and then you come as part of the whole and you report on that. And of course we have our directorate meetings, which is the other cut of the management structure.
It's full packed, so it's a really
I mean,
in 2 weeks is okay, but if it's like here 4 days, it's really full packed, isn't it?
Yes, that's why we shortened it, so we did it very short and brief.
Yeah.
So I took a little bit of time from the small system. Everybody else started, but the training group didn't. They had a little mini plenary to take them through the structure and in what way they're unique. So they're also going to have opportunities to consult.
Where do they consult?
They will consult in the intergroup event. And the thinking about that is twofold. One is that the group relations method is about systems. So the consultation opportunities really should be where the whole system is involved. Second is that the experience that I've had in different ways that this, training group, different directors do it differently. But I prefer this because then they have to deal with the transition between being a full-time member and a part-time member, let's say, part-time consultant. I think if they consult into any of the intimate groups, I think it makes their job even more difficult. So definitely not the small system. I would never do that. And I think
let them consult to a small system as a
then,
co-consultant, or alone.
Yes, because then they have the members that they are the consultant of, and then they are their colleagues or their peers in other systems. I think it's too much to ask. We don't do it to ourselves as staff members, so we should not do that to the members either. They're still members. In fact, they're very fragile members.
I just wanted to say the word. Yes, it's a fragile role, isn't it?
It is a fragile one. It's a role that has, the identity of a learner is kind of on full volume. They have less freedom as well. Like us, us staff have very little freedom. We are in the role, as we emphasize. They have medium freedom, and the members who are not in training group have the most freedom.
So they're also observed by the others, right? By the members, what they do.
They're expected to know more, to behave better. They're expected to. They have expectations of themselves to be in a different place. what happens if they discover that all they manage to learn is the same, that they do the same again? It's very tough. It's very tough. So they will consult to that, and then they have their own review and consultation groups where they work with the two of us together. Both on the task of review and preparation to take up consultant role, and later reflection on how that went, preparation for the next day, and application. And if we have time, maybe they will have some further consultation opportunity within the subsystem, so they can maybe work as a consultation group. On Friday, that's what I'm hoping they will do. Will work as a consultation group. Instead of the one-to-one, they will do the within themselves, among themselves, with the two of us.
That's right. We took you out of this one-on-one consultation with the members. It was your decision to say, no, let's do it, or you requested, let's do it separately, and let's continue working and wrapping up the role and work of the training group members, right? Which is good, yes.
Yeah, so that's, I think that's more or less it about the design of them.
Experience of designs? What other designs are there? Other designs? Let's say really opposite designs or something totally different?
Traditionally or historically, the training group used to consult to the ranks.
Okay, with the consultant? In co-consulting?
No, historically at the Tavistock, they used to, if there were a lot of them, they would pair up.
Okay.
Certainly that was mine. And then they will consult to the ranks, and after that they will have supervision from a member of staff.
So they go alone as a pair, two of training group members, to consulting the other group members.
To the ranks, yeah.
To the ranks of members.
The rest of the A's and the B's.
A's and the B members.
Or usually, typically, only the A's. Yeah.
That's what we did in Israel, I think. And then
that's the...
we even had a different concept there. We had one consultant and one training group consultant.
That's another version.
We paired, yes.
That's another version.
And then later on we supervised.
Yeah. I did that version too. I also had once, because I had a lot of training group members, I had one consultant staff with two. Yes, it's quite a team. So it's a small team by then. Yeah, I had it, I think, only once like that, because maybe it's a little bit too difficult. But I did do definitely one staff, one training member. But then I thought I much prefer the one when they consult to the whole system. And the RAGs is a job really for a staff member. Yeah, but actually the RAG is a very emotional place, often the place with most aha moments. You know, when people try to...
The review application group.
Yes, but when people try to make sense of what's happening to them in the conference and how they make sense of it back in their work and home life.
It's a containing setting as well.
So it's very tricky to be a trainee consulting to that, I think.
Yeah, because of the importance of the
work. The importance, the intimacy, the exposure. And often, I suppose, also the transference, because even though it's not a here and now event, the training members often have very similar dilemmas.
So how do you work in Iraq? What is your experience?
In Iraq?
What is the method you use, or the way you work?
I usually work very hard when I work in Iraq, because I find that increasingly people find that space intimidating. You know, a lot of the time I find that it's where the resistances are actually more up for some reason or another. So to work in that in a containing way, I use metaphors, I use images.
So you ask them.
I mobilize them to work with each other.
Oh, that's fine. While you're sitting together.
Yeah. All sorts of methods. Storytelling, story writing.
So what do you ask them in the evening? For example, what would be your stories if you would look at the day and the roles you have taken up?
Yes,
Something
and I
like
might
this?
ask them what was the highlight of the day,
Highlight of
what
the-
was the best moment, the worst moment, the funniest moment, the difficult moment.
And then they speak one on one, one by one?
Yeah, usually.
That's good.
I think it depends how talkative the group is.
Mm. And drawings?
I like rugs though. I do like them, but sometimes you have to work with them. And I think it's one of the most important events in a group relations conference. It's the one that as staff members we are often stuck, we know this is a fantastic method, but we always struggle with evidence, no? We always struggle to say why is it such a good way of working.